Alright everybody, hello, and welcome back to yet another episode on Planet Coaster with me, Spacefish. And I just got the notification up here that our janitor is thinking about quitting, which I really don't like, because as you all may remember, we've got a super high fluctuation of staff out in this park, so maybe something to take care of for us. Kinda unsure, to be honest, why his workload is so high when the other guy's workload is sort of normal, apparently. But let's just give him some training, and let's raise his pay by like $30 or something, and hopefully that is going to make him a bit happier like that. It's time for me to find a new job, but I get paid what's worth and what I'm worth. I'm not quite sure. I hope that is sort of gonna motivate him a bit more. Other than that, this dude doesn't seem like super happy either. I'm not quite sure why. Oh wait, so he was already trained to level 2, but he wasn't. That explains the workload issue right there. I'm gonna give him like $90 as well, just to make it sort of equal and make him happy too, hopefully. And well, other than that, does seem like we're overall somewhat good. Mechanics are getting a bit unhappy, so I'm gonna give him like a small raise just to keep him in there. And well, then fingers crossed that that will work out. Other than that, if you'll remember, in the last episode we actually got some research done out here. Can't actually see it in here anymore, but we can see it down here if we look at rides. So, no, not these, but coasters rather. So, we got this altitude thingy. We've got I think the Screamer was new, and the Spire of Shock definitely was. And as you can see by the loading time, these things are pretty massive. So, well, bunch of options right now for us to make our very own coaster out here. I do kind of favor doing that, so maybe we are going to take the chance this episode of actually getting something like that going. The thing is, I'm not quite sure, like, I would actually like to do something like that together with you all. And in that case, I'm not quite sure, like, if I would actually make it a speed build, like, especially if I make it something custom. Maybe we are just going to do it without a speed build. So that's something that I still actually have to determine. For the time being, what kind of ones do we have? We've got the American Arrow. We've got, okay, so this is a chain lift, can invert, and it's for adults and teens. These are for all ages, apparently. Okay. So, linear synchronous motor. So this is a launched one, and this one is working with chain lift. Not quite sure what the difference is between a linear synchronous motor and a hydraulic launch. But this one apparently just goes boosh. So, I'm not quite sure I want one that goes boosh. I have got this one too, reverse freefall coaster, linear synchronous motor can also invert. So this one is a launched one as well, isn't it? Oh, reverse. Oh, right. So this is the, okay. Yeah, I get what that is. And well, I mean, Junior Dragon is more for kids. I don't want to do a kids thingy, and we've got this one, which is like, yeah. I'm not really that much of a fan of that. So, I don't know, I'm currently kind of considering the American Arrow out here, but it doesn't really quite fit in with the thematic that I want to go for. It's kind of more that the tracks kind of match what my idea was with the entrance gate right here, so that would be an option. I mean, I'm not sure that's what I should focus on though, honestly. Because if this doesn't make sense for the overall optic, maybe that's not quite the thing to go for. And then we've got the Zenith, which is, I think this is the Zenith, like, build equivalent, which is kind of interesting. Like, the Spire of Shock, I don't quite feel fits in. I'm really not quite sure. I'll have to say. Like, overall, I kind of really like this thing for what it is, you know, like a chain lifted coaster with inverts and all that stuff. It's kind of what I would like to build. It's just that, like, the overall chassis design isn't quite what I'm looking for. So I'm not quite sure if we can maybe change the design, the chassis, because I wouldn't want this to be the American Arrow. Like, there's no American thematic out here, so it should ideally be something different. I'm not quite sure about that yet. So that's something for me still to determine. I'll give it a thought, and then I will determine if I'll go and do that with you guys outside of a speed build or inside of a speed build. Other than that, if you'll remember, we did put a lot of effort into this scenery out here in the last episode, so if I get some feedback from you guys on what to do with a few of these things, I'll certainly implement it. I'm not quite sure. I'm looking to finish it off this episode. Maybe I'll instead kind of look at this Ride of the Dragon kind of thing. Or, you know, we could also finally get some actual buildings up and running for this, like, food and toilet block stuff. So that's definitely an option as well. We've obviously still got this scenery to work on. So a lot of time-lapse content as well. But for the time being, with this beautiful view of the sunset, I'll just take the chance to place a quick cut right here, and then I'll be back with you all either with a time-lapse or building our very first coaster. So I'll see you all after the cut.
I walk to you so I can be close to you. It's really simple if you look at it that way. Time that we get by with money we don't know. Pockets empty but hearts are full anyway. Hey, playing like children and love like orange. You were too good for me, but I wanted you anyway. I always loved you over my head, even when you lived alone to make your parents mad. Say goodbye to your old life, turn the page, follow my bed. I don't care if loving you over my head. You talk to me like breeze, running free, beautiful images everywhere. You take a picture of us kissing in cars, it makes my day 10 times better. Yeah, playing like children and love like orange. You were too good for me, but I wanted you anyway. I always loved you over my head, even when you lived alone to make your parents mad. Say goodbye to your old life, turn the page, follow my bed. I don't care if loving you over my head.
Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow We were on the run, rocking around the clock. Now all we need is right here in front of us. In front of us. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I are safe and sound. Can we just slow down? And we can slow waste another day. I don't wanna stay. You say we need a change and feel that you mean it. But you're so right. We're losing track of time. Buying things online, it's not like we need them. Safe and sound.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven, it found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I lost my best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go.
Alright everybody, hello and welcome back from the speed build, or more the speed terraforming in this episode. As you can see, and as you could probably see during all of this, I've been busy. I've been really busy. It's been another hour easily of recording, if not even a bit more, to get all this stuff bunched together. And well, as I said before, I mean, I've got so many open things to work on at the moment that, like, the choice was mine. So I decided to just, for the time being, you know, step back from the fairy tale theme a bit, because, I mean, as you all know, we're not done here yet. I think it'll be another episode or two before we're even close to done on this half, and then we've obviously got this half still going, and we've got these buildings still going, so there is a lot of work still to do on that. But I just decided to step back, you know, do something else, because I don't know, I always need, you know, some time to recuperate that inspiration. And well, kind of looked at this and I was like, everything's still freestanding, it doesn't really look that good. So I decided to take on this huge task of starting some terraforming, starting some scenery for this ride. And as you can see, my ambitions are quite mad. And also, my iPhone wants me to go sleep. So, you know, if you want to know, my iPhone wants me to go sleep. As always, perfect timing right there. But yeah, so my ambitions for this stuff are quite big, as I think they will very much be for everything that I'm building in this park for the future. I mean, just look at the space that we have, how little we've used so far, and how much work there is still to do for only these things. This series will pretty much continue forever if I keep going at this pace, which honestly at this point is fine for me. And let me know what you all think about it down below. There's so many ideas I have for things. I just want to keep adding on to it. And well, I mean, the way that I usually approach this kind of stuff is I think somewhat as like some painters, maybe. I just start with it and I kind of flow with it. I kind of start working away at it, and I see what kind of develops and what kind of ideas develop of mine from this stuff, and then I just kind of slowly but surely try and work my way into it. So I'm just gonna try and walk you through everything real quick, not try and waste too much time here. But yeah, so I'll start down here. Now, as you all may remember, I already had like a little bit of a lake down here created, and my idea with this stuff is that it's kind of gonna be integrated into the sawmill. That we'll have like some sawmill blade right here, and there'll be some cut open logs, and there'll be logs floating around the place. Not quite sure what of that does and does not actually work at the moment, so let's see how we are going to be doing for that. I hope it will all work, but I don't know if I have all the assets for that I need, so let's see about that. But that was kind of the idea with the lake. Now, I did expand the lake out a little bit to out here, you know, through the, well, below the actual ride itself, so that it will actually be a somewhat big lake. The dream would have obviously been to have this thing kind of sort of, you know, sunken into this, but I don't think there's a possibility for us to change it, and unfortunately I kind of have a feeling it'll have to keep looking like that. I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can get some boulders here, you know, cover it up that way a bit, you know, maybe have a few water fountains and make it look like this is flowing into that. I think it's sort of going to be a bit rough. And also, no, this water is actually moving. It looks like it nearly isn't, but it is actually moving. But yeah, so kind of unfortunate there. Not quite happy with that just yet. And, you know, the thing is, there seems to be some no-build zone around the ride, as you can see right here. So, yeah, bit troublesome. Let's see how we are going to be doing for that. Now, I kind of just followed the direction of the ride when starting this. So, I kind of pretty quickly had the idea and wanted this to be like kind of with a bit of some cave systems, right? So you go into this dark alley, then you get pulled up right here, and you come out there, and you dive down through this little ridge out here, and eventually you go and splash down into the darkness again. You come out right here. So I kind of played with the dark and the light there a bit for the ride. I really like that idea overall, and so that's kind of what I went for here with this central park. Now, not park, but part, rather. So now then, once you come out, you obviously have this very, very long elevator, and you get all the way up, and this is where, like, the high parts of the mountain come in. Now, I'm not quite 100% sure I'm, like, super perfectly happy with all the sculpting everywhere. I think, like, especially this part, I can probably improve a bit, but overall, I think I'm pretty happy. So, what my overall idea was here, was that I wanted to work with kind of a combination of like springs, waterfalls, and cave systems. That's kind of the three main things I wanted to center this around. So I've got a spring right here pretty much, so I'll obviously, you know, you can kind of see it coming from here, and then I'll actually place something right here, even though you can't see it from the outside. In my mind, I think I just want it to be complete, so that if you were to explore this park yourself just with your camera, there is something right there. So I will design a spring right there, and there is another one right there, which I'll place a lot of boulders right here, and then there'll be some water fountains that push the water out slowly and trickling into here pretty much. And then with these springs in here, I want to design some waterfalls. So this one is going to have a huge waterfall down with this whole log ride, just to kind of have it make sense, as if you were really the log that gets sent down by the loggers, pretty much down to the loggers camp. So we'll have a huge waterfall down here feeding into this lake right here, which I'll probably make up with a lot of water fountains as well. I think that's pretty much the only way, given the rather unfortunate water dynamics out here. So that's kind of a bit sad, but can't really make the water itself flow down, so I'll have to do it with special effects somehow. Then, I've got this spring out here, which, for one, I'm thinking maybe I'll have it slightly feed into here as well. Now, I don't think I can actually put water here. I'll try and kind of explore it if it is possible, but I don't think so. If I can, I'm going to put actual water here. If not, it would be done with special effects as well. So let's see about that. Then I've obviously got like another main waterfall out here, which feeds into another reservoir. And then I'll have a small side waterfall right here feeding into this lake, and another one feeding into this bigger one out here. Yeah, and then I've kind of integrated this walkway a bit as well with, you know, some actual, like, an actual tunnel in here. I would like to make it like a bit rougher and not as straight as it kind of gets when you have a path with like clearance and everything below it. So let's see if we can do something about that in the future maybe as well. And then we kind of come to this part I'm pretty happy with. I mean, there's obviously a bit of designing to be done here still, but I want this to be rather straight up, and I maybe want to make this, I don't quite know what it is called. If it is, I'm not sure it's the Washington Memorial, but well, basically, I'm pretty sure it's not. Basically, what I kind of have in mind for this, I am kind of unsure if I am going to be good enough at this to actually make that happen properly. But there is this one huge monument in the States where there's like statesmen from the United States, like from years and years and years, like tens and tens and hundreds of years back, actually carved into the stone, and they're like pretty much statues on like a huge wall of rock that just got carved into the stone by people. And that's kind of sort of my inspiration for this. So if I can replicate something of that sort, or if it will have to sort of stay this like huge wall of rock, I'm not quite sure yet. I think it will be a super hard task, and it will probably take me ages. So that's probably the most ambitious part of all of this, and it's not even something that people will see on the right. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this, I think. Cave systems as well. As I said, I integrated a bunch of them. Now, I started out down here. As you all may see, I don't know why I can't zoom in more right now. I seem to have triggered something, hit some button. The game's not happy with me. I think I just fixed it. Camera, by the way, bogged about the place a few times this build, unfortunately, but it is fixed. So I did kind of have this little, you know, one kind of beach, but you know, get a little place where I'll definitely place some assets, place some people, and then I thought of this as like a little mine entrance. So we're gonna have it be a mine, but we're also gonna have it connect to the cave system. And now, in an ideal world, I would actually want all these caves to be connected with each other, which is a mad project, I know, and I'm not even sure how I would accomplish it, but just the thoughts of you actually have caves that connect with each other, and I have a cave that I can just go in and get out somewhere else. I think the idea is crazy cool. It's kind of mad, and I'm not sure if I'm actually going to end up doing it, because it will take a lot of time and not have any impact on the visuals from the outside. But I would kind of think that would be very cool. But I kind of designed this with these caves in mind. So I mean, for one, you obviously have these big caves that you go through with log boats, but you also have some smaller ones right here. So I'll place some ladders here, for example, you know, place some people, place some assets around here. I've got this cave coming out here, so I can place some assets around here. And I've also got this cave out here, because what I thought I wanted to do really, really bad would be some ladders up here, and then like some super tiny, small, skewed house. If I can somehow make that work, just standing on top of this hill that, you know, some old grandpa lives in with this beautiful, beautiful view. I think that would be the ideal piece to top this all off. If it will work, let's see, but I would really, really hope that it will. And then I've got like a few more out here that, you know, we could probably work around with some assets as well. Now, I would have very, very specific things in mind were this a real park and if I wouldn't be limited to a few assets, but I think I will be somewhat limited, so let's see how good we can make this work. But yeah, so that's sort of the cave system. Really, really happy with that idea. I hope it will work out as good as I imagine it to work out, and as good as I hope it will work out. But let's see about that for the future. And then the last part, of course, like all the vegetation is still missing. There will be a lot of trees. I think there will be more trees the further up you go, and maybe, if possible, if there's any comparable assets, maybe I can even place like a few loggers, you know, that are in a small camp up there, you know, logging trees, and then, you know, a few logs out here as well, that kind of signify the logs being sent down to there. Let's see what all is possible with the assets I have. I feel like I'm going to be limited in some ways or another, unfortunately, but I'm going to try and make this work as good as possible. But yeah, so that's it for the overall idea. That's it for the work. As I said, it took me a long while. I mean, just like getting all this terraforming up and running, getting everything roughed up and the water in the caves in is a lot of work, I'll have to say. I mean, I didn't even get to fully paint the terrain. I think like terraforming is not even quite done yet. So this will be a massive project, and there will be a lot more work going into it. For the time being, I think it already looks 15 times better than it did before, just standing out like nothing around it except for this small little hill. So I do hope that you all like where I'm going with this. I hope that you all enjoy this episode. I'm going to end it off right here because I think I've already been rambling on for a very, very long while. Let me know what you think about it down below. Let me know if you've got any ideas for assets. If you, I don't know, if maybe there are some DLCs you can recommend with assets that could help me out with this. Would very much appreciate that as well. But yeah, with that said, as I said, gonna end it off right here. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to hit that like button down below. That does always very much help out the channel. And if you're new around here and didn't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to do that right now. And hit the notification bell as well to stay up to date on any future upcoming episodes. And I hope I'll see you in the next one. With that said, as always, thank you all very much for watching, everybody. I hope you'll have a great weekend, and I hope I'll see you very soon. Ciao.